Hey folks, I'm on the Vaniki server today. This is one of the servers released in 2022, which is level locked, meaning you're restricted from getting to the level of the content that's available, but also offers account rewards. There's a few bosses that are flagged for those rewards, and basically if you kill them at 10 levels lower than they're usually available, you get some toy item that you can claim on another server. I'm going to start a challenge run of these beyond the original challenge of just doing them underleveled, which is to do them Molo. That means solo, but with mercenaries. Since I'll be using mercs, that restricts me to a single group, as they can't join raids. So 3 tunes plus 3 mercs is going to be the challenge for these. The first one I'm going to try like this is Cazic Thule. You can see here it's a level 40 achievement, which means that I can't have any tunes in the DZ above level 41. There's a 1 level buffer. In brief, how the reward script works is that if a tune higher than that joins the DZ, it'll corrupt it. So you can still kill stuff, but you won't get the reward. My crew here is too high level, so the first order of business is de-leveling them. So off we go. I found the best place to de-level is in Kata. If you just run directly out from zone in, you can bind next to some high-level guards who get the job done relatively quickly. You'd probably want to remove your gear before doing this, but I didn't bother this time. You can see they can off you pretty quickly in succession. Here's the end result. There's a few hundred corpses in that pile. By the way, can we please get an auto de-level function on this server? It's not bad from 50 to 40, but de-leveling from 75 is just super tedious, and it's really only going to get worse from here. Every time I make a huge pile like this, I start to wonder who's going to report me for zone disruption. You can see the video lag a bit here, and don't even get me started on the corpses people summon into guild lobby after doing this. Okay, that's step 1 done. Now we're going to head to Firot and launch up the AOC. Alright, I've got the team assembled, they've got their mercs out, and we're ready to go. But in thinking about it, there's a problem I'm going to encounter, which is that there's a couple golems in Fear that death touch. They ignore the mercs, and I don't think I can kill them fast enough before they wipe me out. So what I'm going to do here is some clever application of game mechanics. These AOC lockouts are based on account, not tune, so I'm going to bring in an A team to lock me out of those, which means they won't respawn when I fire up the new DZ with my level 40s. Okay, here we've got your boy Worth, who you may remember from taking the first known Crag Beast Queen achievement kill. He's a bit trash can now since he hasn't been raiding for a while, but should get the job done. And he's joined by a couple other 75s. Oops, I need 6 in the group to fire up the raid instance, so let me summon their mercs and then we'll get going. Alright, now it works, and you can see they've got the same lockouts that the other tunes had when I opened up the DZ window. And just to note, this title on the bystander here, ChatGPT, is from one of the other achievements in the Planes of Power expansion on Vaniki. Alright, we're zoning in now. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to run up to the first DT golem on my enchanter, and yeah, I bit the dust pretty quickly there. But that's fine. You can see the rest of the team running in to kill it off, so should get done before the next DT. Alright, got it down, and the merc is giving me a res, so we're going to see what kind of loot we got here just for fun. It's all locked out, but I'll just click the corpse and let me see the loot a little bit easier. Nice, an AON. Don't mind if I do. So I repeated the same thing with the other two golems and Draco, just getting all the lockouts except the one I want for the challenge. You can see at level 75, this is all super trivial, so it just took me a few minutes to go in here and clear those four named and a bunch of the trash that aggroed in the meantime. Okay, now we're finally done with the setup and back with the main crew. Let's see if that worked and we can get the DZ we want. Perfect. You can see here that in Fear I've got lockouts for the three golems and Draco, which means they won't be in the instance when I start it. We're only going to have Cazic Thule in there, which is what I want for the achievement. Well, not just Cazic. We're going to also have all the trash. Have you ever fully cleared Fear trash with 6 level 40 tunes? Well, let me say you're basically taking a while to clear that. So here's a picture of me clearing trash. Yeah, and here's some more trash. Did I mention there was a trash clear involved? And even more trash here. The damage shield was really doing work on a lot of these. Right, so clearing Fear trash with 6 level 40 tunes was about the immersive experience you'd imagine. Here's the last of the trash, just pulling the whole temple because, yeah, why not at this point? I did eventually beat all that down, and here we are ready to engage Cazic Thule. You can see he's level 70 and my crew is all at 40. Let's just sit back and see how it goes. All right, not the best first engagement there. The Cleric Merc was about as responsive as a cabbage. I actually forgot to buy lower level res on my Cleric, so I just aborted at this point. I could have kept going, but the problem is that after a few minutes, this guy will be forced to bind, which is going to suspend his Merc, and my healer Merc won't res him while in combat. So there's not really a point to keep going at this stage. I'll just reset it and try again. So this time what I'm going to do is send a pet in first. Hopefully the mercs will then have time to react and grab it before it kills my tunes. Yeah, that's perfect. You can see them running in now. Alright, and we're finally engaged. I'm going to swap over to recording on my cleric and his perspective, as that was the one that seemed to need the most focus during the fight. This fight is a little bit harder with this lineup than what you're probably used to. Just a quick rundown on the CT fight mechanics if you're not familiar. And this is, of course, version 2, which I think comes out when Velius is released on a server. So, first of all, he's not slowable. Not that I have a class that could slow with me, and he rampages. He also procs a fear on his target, and every 30 seconds or so, he casts a fling and knockback. There's also a snare and a dispel in there. Lots of stuff actually going on for this early in the game for one boss. The main challenges I found were first that you definitely want a healer. My cleric had to complete heal the tank merc quite a number of times to keep him up, and it's sometimes tricky with so few tunes, and with the fear to keep it in range for them to land. Since there's not a full raid with you, CT's prone to start running after the tank when he fears it. Second was dealing with the knockback. I'm not very good at boxing, but even if you were, I think it'd be pretty difficult to manage the knockback or even using Lev to keep track of it dispelling, given that you need to pay a lot of attention to the cleric. One big problem there is that you need to make sure they don't get so far flung out of range that the mercs leash to the tune. That would pretty easily wipe you, I think. I did end up claiming a mount on one of my tunes mid-fight, which helped with the knockback part of it at least. And finally, you can see this is taking quite a bit of time. I'm just going to zip ahead to the end. You can see this has been going on for a bit less than an hour, but we finally got him down to his last throws. My merc's trying its best to get CT stuck in a tree, which you'll all probably recognize from your own raids. I was overhealing a bit as it went on. I could have kept my mana pretty stable and still done it. I just didn't want to risk it at this point, with so much time put into the fight. I also summoned a couple servants that cast clarity on me during the fight, although it's worn off by this stage. Also hadn't used steadfast recovery yet, so I was plenty fine on mana. Alright, so we finally did it and got the achievement message. The actual item itself comes via your claim window, so let's just refresh that and inspect it. If you do this achievement, make sure you're careful where you claim it. You only get one claim, so if you claim it on the wrong server, you have to rerun the achievement to get another claim on a different tune. And here's the item. It lets you summon a stack of, I think it's like 10 AC, 50 hit point food, which is super good for starting off on a new TLP. RIP Misty Thicket Trade Skillers. Alright, that concludes the challenge. Main recommendations, if any devs ever see this, is that Vaniki really needs an auto D-level function, and for any achievements with trash or other bosses in the same DZ, please make there be a way to bypass that and just do the achievement. It's really super tedious how it's set up now. Which Molo achievement do y'all want to see next?